Shall we begin?
Welcome to the Happy MonsterCast. I'm your host, Scott Marchand Davis of Happy Monster Press.
Let's begin now.
This week on the Happy MonsterCast, the Legion fights to free superhuman Archimedes Laughton from slavery. Previously on the Happy MonsterCast, the Continental Army has formed the Legion of Liberty, a unit of superhumans fighting for freedom from the British Crown. Elijah Allen, Master of Mind Control. Artemis Crow, Invisible Assassin. Petanoet, the Wampanoag Swamp Monster. Clara Washington, Super Soldier. And Nubbins McGregor, who can turn you into a rat or punch you through a wall. The Legion have located Archimedes Laughton, a superhuman who can bridge great distances via gateways, in a Charleston prison. Now they must free him and his family. All right, so let's recap. Washington has sent you to Charleston, which is currently occupied by the British, to retrieve a new superhuman. The new superhuman you've discovered is an enslaved man by the name of Archimedes Laughton, who has the ability to teleport and create portals for long-distance transport. This has obvious applications for obvious military applications as well as commercial ones. So he's definitely going to be a valuable asset. However, he is held in his slavery because his family is being held prisoner on the plantation where he grew up. So he's happy to accompany you to the north and fight for liberty and for the new United States of America. But he wants you to rescue his family. So you have concocted a scheme in which you are attempting to get all of the enslaved people in the jail into one cell and then gate them out. Unfortunately, at least some of the prisoners who are also in the jail here decided to rat you out. And so a large number of colonial militia is headed your way, but they do have a choke point because there's only one entrance to the jail. So that's the situation in which you find yourself in the middle of combat. And at the moment, it is the turn of the various civilians. So they are the other slaves who are in for the auction are moving fast. I'm going to give them a run die. Pretty good. So they're running down to the other end of the corridor, and they are getting close to the other cells. Of course, you need somebody to open them. Somebody like say Artemis, Artemis has thievery. I believe Elijah has the keys. which
so
you
useful. You could break open or just unlock it.
Yeah, which
I don't know. I don't think I do have the keys, actually. I think
Artemis has the keys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and conveniently, it's now Artemis's turn.
Nice.
So he is going to also run. Okay. So he's running down towards the other cells to open them up. And that brings us to Nubbins. So you have a clear line of sight to a whole bunch of colonial militia, of loyalist militia, who are going to be charging back in shortly. But you had recently blasted them out the door with your Havoc power.
Can I Havoc them again?
You can, but they're too far away for a cone template. But I believe they're in range for a blast template.
Okay.
Let's see here. What is the range on Havoc? Range is smarts, your smarts, is D8. So you can drop a Havoc Blast 8 squares away from them, which is right about here.
Okay.
And that's a medium blast template.
All right.
Which is going to, so if you drop it right in front of them, you'll at least hit the 2 guys in front. If you move forward a bit, you can hit all of them. You're not going to hit any of them with that roll.
Yeah, I'll move forward, but I will definitely Benny that.
Yeah, so you need to move forward 2 to hit them all.
Okay. Try that again. That's much nicer. There we go.
Quite.
Good one.
So make sure to move yourself.
There we go. Yeah, for whatever reason, I just see black on the map. I don't see any.
Are you not? That's weird.
I see my token, but I just see black.
Maybe you don't have any vision. Hang on. You should be able to see.
There we go.
Okay, that did the trick. All right, so you have quite thoroughly havoc these guys who are out there. So they are going to have to make a strength roll at -2 in order to avoid being blasted in various directions, which they utterly fail.
Ooh.
So give me a 2d6 roll, please.
Not great, but not terrible.
All right. They are hurled 5 inches away from the center of the blast. So a couple of them are hurled towards you. Others are hurled out to the sides. And some of them are hurled back.
All right.
They've been blasted in all directions, and now it's Elijah's turn.
I'll go ahead and move down the chamber.
You want to run? You can use a D6 to move faster.
Sure. All right, D6.
All right, so you can move 8 rather than 6.
Okay. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, which you're right next to your comrades there.
There we go.
All right, next up are the militia. So this guy, let me untarget him. Targeted. So this guy, the militia are all going to run, except for the 2 that were blasted. Okay, so the blasted ones can't run because they got to pick themselves back up. They're running in the door. Bunch more headed your way. There's another block. Charge. Bar. And then, just for extra fun, we've also got some guys who are running in from the back. There's a lot of militia coming your way. All right. So the two guys who are in the room, or who are right there with you, they are going to shoot at Nubbins because they've seen him causing havoc-y things around.
Oh.
First guy hits with a raise.
Ow.
For 10 damage.
Oof.
That sucks.
Versus your toughness means that you are shaken.
That's not terrible.
And the second guy will miss.
Lucky me.
Musket's not all that accurate.
True. But,
Okay.
Ow.
The militia sergeant is still sitting in the barracks room drinking. Archimedes yells, "You want the gate in here?"
He's waiting in a cell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it
He didn't
already.
let it out yet. Not with that roll, he doesn't.
Ooh.
Not even with a +2. Opening a gate is not simple. But he's going to keep trying.
Okay.
Actually, he has bennies, so he's going to spend one. Not a lot better. He's going to spend his second penny because he concentrated last round, so this is his best chance. Hey, there we go.
Ooh.
Nice.
Good enough. A portal appears.
Awesome.
Back of the cell. All right, new round. Elijah, you're up first.
Okay. All right. Artemis has the keys, so can I shoot over Nubbin's shoulder at one of the guys down the hall? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and do that.
I sort of cock my shoulder sideways.
All right. Shooting.
That will hit.
Nice. All right. Pistol.
Yep.
Roll.
Do the regular damage.
Click.
Not great.
Yeah, five's not. Well, that was your shooting roll. Click the damage button.
Oh, that's better.
There we go. Ooh.
All right. So you brace your pistol on Nubbins' shoulder, and you fire, and you drop this guy.
Nice.
Nicely done. Oh my
Thank
goodness.
All right. Artemis is going to run again. And he has opened the door to the cell in which Archimedes and one of the slaves is currently in.
Okay.
Okay, next up are the various civilians. This guy is going to run to the door. These guys are moving up the door as far as they can, and I'm going to make a run roll for the women and children that you already freed. Pretty good. So most of them are out. And Archimedes is standing by. Okay, Nubbins, make a spirit roll to unshake.
Alrighty.
Actually, Archimedes is very smart. He's made the gate straddling these two cells, here and here. So these two can also escape.
Okay.
No flies on Archimedes. All right, you are no longer shaken.
All right. Can I take a bolt at that guy or the closest militia?
You absolutely can do that, yes. Did you pick up the skill yet, or are you still doing it untrained? No, you should roll the bolt.
It's a D8. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely don't want the untrained D4. That hits with a raise, so give me a 3d6, please.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy cakes. But not a great roll.
You can Benny. You can Benny damage.
Yeah, I will totally Benny that. As absurd as it is, the likelihood of getting a triple one again is very small. Okay, yeah, much better, much better.
And that's without the exploding die. That guy's down.
Nice.
Okay, Archimedes is holding fast. The one guy's still drinking, and the militia are charging. All right, so let's see how many of them can get in here. Okay, so these four, basically they're going to be packing the corridor now.
Well, it's decided it wants to rain outside.
It's raining militia in here.
Nubbins, we gotta get the hell out of here. I mean, if you could havoc and then run, that would be good.
Yeah, this seems like an excellent time to havoc. Much depends on initiative next round, which means I should acquaint you with a rule that you may not remember. You can spend a Benny to change your initiative. You can spend a Benny to redraw your initiative card.
Nice.
So if, say, the militia are going before Nubbins, they might want to do that.
Oh, good to know. Okay.
Yeah.
So these two guys up in front are going to attack Nubbins with bayonets.
Oh, ooh, gross.
That's definitely not going to hit.
Yeah.
And that's definitely not going to hit. So you knock their weapons aside as they're trying to get at you with bayonets. All right, very important to see what the initiative is this round. Okay, Archimedes is up first.
Oh, not bad.
So he's not really doing anything. Then the civilians, they're going to hold action, except for this guy who's going to run for it. And all the criminals who are yelling and pounding on the bars. And then Nubbins.
Havoc time, but I'd like to inflict as much damage as possible.
Okay, so Havoc is not intrinsically damaging.
Okay.
It just blows them back.
Right, but I want to affect as many as possible.
So you can use a strong Havoc, which you can do without penalty, in which case it's -2 on their strength rolls to stay put, or -4 if you get a raise.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Okay. Let's see what happens.
What's the downside?
There's really no downside. If you're in power points, then they have to spend power points in order to. You have to spend an extra power point to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it.
No, God's
blow them away.
Give me a 2d6 roll, please.
Come on.
Yes. Oh my goodness! These explosions.
What a time!
What a
we'll let these six again.
What a time to havoc! Oh my goodness! I love
give
it.
Give me another d6 roll.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. So these guys have been blasted back a substantial distance and knocked down. So none of them are going to be able to reach you this round.
That's awesome. Well done.
Yay.
Elijah.
Well done, Nubbins. Run for it. And then I'll go toward Artemis.
Nubbins, are you also running for it? Because you
Yeah,
can
you
still
should.
move.
Most
You should
definitely, yes.
Okay, so move your 6, because we didn't give you a penalty for running, but I will certainly allow you to move over towards the cell to make a run for it. And Elijah, you can run if you choose,
Okay.
which means you roll a d6.
Yeah, I'll do that. Roll. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll get in the cell right here. Oh, I can't do it that way. Hold on. Move over here and then down.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, next up are the militia. They are charging in. The ones who are not Havoc are running. So let's see how they do here. Okay. Two of them got in there pretty far. All right, so these guys do not currently have loaded muskets.
Good.
So they run in, and now they are going to make a shooting roll to try to load their muskets quickly. But it's going to be at -2. Yeah, no, they are unable to load them fast.
Awesome.
So they kind of fumble with their powder, and then they just toss the cartridges to the ground and discuss. Okay, Artemis is definitely running this round. Okay. So he's going to run over, unlock, and run back over here. And then he's going to try, although it's going to be challenging, to go invisible. It's going to be at an extra -2 because he was running.
Okay.
But he could get lucky, and he does.
Oh, nice.
Not
Good enough.
lucky enough.
Oh, no. Damn.
So he is not invisible. And the one guy is still drinking. All right. And these two civilians were holding their action. So they are now going to run. And they are running fast. And they run all the way through the gate. So initiative this round is going to be very important. Oh, did you guys lucked out?
Man.
With that initiative, you are all going to be able to run through the gate and have Archimedes drop it.
Okay.
Perfect. Run,
We get
run.
a chance to throw the keys to the other prisoners before we leave.
Make an athletics roll.
Okay. Hold up the character sheet. Athletics. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, you toss the keys into the opposite cage.
Nice.
And
Well
then
done.
run. All right, so you've now cleared the jail with Archimedes, which means you have met up with your compadres, and he is ready to gate you to the plantation. And to use a D&D term, he can basically take 20 here because, barring a critical failure, he's going to be able to do this if he rolls enough.
That makes sense.
So
Can we just check and make sure that they're all kind of in one space, like his family, and make sure we get them out before we try to free, other slaves or do whatever else?
Well, you'd have to gate in first.
Before we do that, can we inquire about what we're going to be fighting, going against here? Does he have any idea how many people they have on this plantation? Guards and whatnot, slave owners.
Well, he says that there's the plantation owner, of course, and there are a number of overseers as well. He's not sure how many of them will be around, but there are at least 20 overseers on the plantation.
Okay.
Anyone else with strange powers?
No, he's the only, as far as he knows, he's the only superhuman on the plantation.
Okay.
So anything else you want to do preparation-wise before you gate in?
Nope, I don't have anything.
Just random. I'll probably have
Sharpen my
these out,
axes and put
right.
on a headband.
I mean, you could state shift. Artemis is going to concentrate.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah. I should do that.
Get in the mood.
So he's going to try that again. And he's going to keep trying. That one worked. Okay, so Artemis goes invisible. Let's get a state shift for Noah. Do you want to boost any traits, Clara? Good time to do that before
I
you
want
go
to
in.
boost shooting.
Okay. Give me a boost trait roll. I got to take your fighting back down from the one that was boosted before. Yeah, that's good enough. So your shooting is now boosted up to D12.
Okay, I've got something weird going on.
Okay.
I click the state shift thing. It shows up in the chat window.
Yeah.
That roll button does not want to click on me.
Huh. Hang on a second, because that's not the state shift button I would want you to have anyway. State shift. That should work. Why is it not working? Maybe because there's a space in the skill name. I'm not sure. So go ahead, click the skill button on your character sheet rather than the power button. Yeah, now click to see if that roll button works for you. If not, I'll click it for you. Yeah, I think it worked.
Holy cow.
You're in the zone.
I feel shifty.
All right. So you guys
See
are
you lady tonight.
Yep. You guys are loaded for bear, and you're going to gate into the camp.
Cool.
All right. Oops, I'm missing somebody here. Okay. You guys pop in just outside the slave or just at near the entrance of the slave enclosure here. What order are you coming through the gate in?
I'm okay going through first.
I'm the meat shield. I probably should go in first.
Middle, if I can.
Take a bullet.
Archimedes has been here before.
Yeah, but
Well, he used to live
first.
here.
Okay. Yeah, he should be next to someone like leading us, I'd imagine, since he knows the way.
Okay, so who's Clara? You're going through first.
I mean, it doesn't matter where Artemis is because he's invisible, right? Yeah, Clara should go, I guess, in first with him.
Okay, Artemis and Clara in first. Then Archimedes and who?
I'll go after
I'll
that.
go. Okay.
And then Nubbins and Pet Know It.
Okay. Awesome.
Are actually, Nubbins and Pet Know It. Yeah. All right. So you pop out of the gate, and this is what you see. you see a crew of overseers with a gentleman accompanying them, who are apparently standing guard around one of the cabins. And Archimedes says, "That's my family's cabin." So they are all of these guys are carrying muskets and either whips in the case of the overseers, or a club in the case of the guy in the suit.
Okay.
And that will put us into initiative and combat.
Hey, Scott, I can't really see the map. I've got big 2 rows. Everything below is kind of black for me. Is that expected?
Yeah, because you can't see around the cabins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just our line of sight.
Yep.
Okay.
Get you all assigned to the combat here, along with the civilians, if that becomes relevant. Make sure that's all set, and here we go.
I want to know who the head. Well, I imagine the gentleman is the.
If you ask
owner.
Archimedes, that's Mr. Laughton, the owner.
And then who's like the head? I don't know, slave master. Who do we take down first?
Well, the plantation owner is the head guy. The others are just assorted overseers, and you guys just drew two jokers.
Wow.
Nice.
So Artemis and Clara, you can go whenever you want, and of course you get a +2 on everything. Technically, Artemis goes first.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you want to hold your action and wait. And he certainly doesn't. He's just going to stroll on over invisibly, making a stealth roll in the process.
Nice. Pretty good.
And let's see if the overseer notices him coming. And no. So invisibly and with the drop, Artemis is now going to do his classic stab a guy in the neck move.
Get him. Nice.
Which will hit with a raise. Or utterly pathetic damage, which he is going to Benny because that's just sad. That's better. So
It's like a raise on the neck.
He just kind of rolls up invisibly and pretty much decapitates this guy.
Yeah, I mean, commando level takedown. That's awesome.
So gross.
So the guy's head is kind of flopping back onto his back, blood spraying everywhere, and the level of freak out is extreme because you guys basically popped in the gate, and really before they could react, Artemis has rolled over and done this.
Awesome.
Okay, Clara, you're up.
Everybody's got whips and clubs, not guns. Is that correct?
Well, every one of them has a musket.
Well, all right. Then we're going to shoot our way to the door.
Okay. I just want to note tactically, you're in an excellent position to charge in and do some sweeping.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how close they all were.
Well, there's
Close enough to hit
as you move forward, you'll see more. You could go right here and hit 3 of them easily, including the owner.
Let's go ahead and do like these 3 in a row.
There you go.
And we'll do a shield bash.
Yeah, which is going to have it. Normally, you lose a penalty of 2 when you sweep, but since you drew a joker, there's no penalty. It's a straight roll.
Yes.
Oh.
that will hit all of them. Go ahead and give me a damage roll, which will also be at +2.
Ooh.
My goodness.
All right, so you have dropped all of them. So,
That's what I'm talking about.
This is not going well for them at all.
Oh my goodness.
You run off and
He just died.
you just ram your. Well, he's incapacitated. He may or may not be dead. We have to roll for that if it matters. But you just rolled up and like annihilated. You slammed your shield across all three of them and dropped all three of them. Okay, Elijah.
All right. I can't see what's going on, so I'm gonna move forward to look around the corner. I'll go ahead and shoot the person I see.
Okay. I'm going to operate on the assumption that you reloaded. That hits with a raise.
Wow.
You guys are
Rolling well.
Or extra D6.
Well,
in for justice. Okay. Yeah, that guy. You dropped that guy too.
Nice.
The odds are looking pretty good.
popping the dropping.
I know it.
We got one left?
Oh, there's more than one left. Let's see here. I'm just going to measure real quick. Yeah, you can totally jump in there and do some bashing. You can move right here and be in melee range of two of them.
Let's do that then.
Done.
There we go. Aha! Oh, hey, I see lots more stuff now.
Yeah,
Artemis seems to have the guy up there, Artemis seems to have the guy up there covered. So I'm going to pop this guy that's like right in front of the cabin.
That will not hit. Would you like to Benny it?
Benny.
Yeah,
you just got two more bennies. You've got 7.
Yes.
You might as well.
There's the Benny.
Still doesn't hit. These guys are actually proficient fighters.
One more time.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the +2?
He doesn't get the +2. He didn't draw the Joker.
Okay.
That hits. So go ahead and give me damage.
No.
Man, that's sad. It's enough to shake him, though. Unless you want to Benny the damage.
Benny.
Why not?
See what happens.
13 minutes. Go for it.
But that's better.
All right. 9, on the other hand, will take him down.
Nice.
Then there were 3. Okay, Archimedes sees the door is clear, and he runs in the door
Fall.
to get his family. All right, so that's that. Nubbins.
Yes, I'd like to run in so I can see something.
Probably want to be over this way. I know where you're going there.
Yeah, I can't see anything, but where was I? Right there.
That's closer to where you want to be, I expect.
Yep. And I still can't see anyone, so
What's going on with your token? Let me fix that. How about now?
I'm still surrounded by mostly.
Something's wrong with that. Let me see here. Friendly token, vision.
Oh, hello. There we go. Okay. Okay, yeah, so in that case, I'll stay here, and let's see, I will bolt the Plantation Overseer.
Okay.
Diagonal of Pet Noah. Okay.
That'll hit.
All right. What's the damage for that?
2d6.
That's okay, 2.
That will shake him.
Ooh. Super.
All right, so now we get to the overseers. So the shaken guy is going to try to unshake, which he does. And I am now going to make a spirit roll for them as a group because this is maybe a little more than they bargained for, and their boss is down, but they're going to stay in the fight for now. All right, so the guy next to Pet Know It is going to try to hit him with a whip.
Good luck.
I believe that actually does hit. Yep. And is completely ineffective against Pet Know It's swampy hide.
Nice.
This guy runs down here and then takes a shot at Clara, and this guy runs over here and takes a shot at Pet Know It. The one shooting at Clara completely fails to hit. And the one shooting at Pet Know It hits with a raise and actually does some damage. So that will shake you and do 1 wound. Would you like to Benny it, or would you like to soak it?
Yeah, let's give it a try.
All right, spend a Benny. Give me a vigor roll.
All right, give me a sec here. Wasn't there a soak button at one point?
Still is. I'm not sure if it's working now because it's a macro.
Where is the Benny spending button?
Easiest thing is on your character sheet, just hit a minus, or I can spend it for you.
Oh, there we go. Did that actually? I clicked the minus. Did that work?
There, I just spent it. Oh, nah. Yeah, it did. It just was delayed. So I gave it back. All right, give me your vigor roll.
Come here, you. Get over here.
All right, so the bullet ricochets off your swampy hide. And now these guys have empty muskets.
Nice.
And Elijah, you're up first.
Okay. I'll step forward so I can get better line of sight. Can I shoot this guy right here? Plantation Overseer 5?
Absolutely can shoot Plantation Overseer number 5.
Okay, I'll use my other flintlock pistol.
That hits. Give me a damage
Nice.
roll. That's enough to shake him.
I'm going to Benny that.
Benny damage. All right.
Is that the one I want to do?
Yeah. It's actually worse.
I'm going to do it again. There we go.
That, on the other hand, puts him down.
Fantastic.
Woo, nicely done. Oh, wow.
Got him first try.
I'm going to do something here real quick. I'm going to do-si-do there. Okay. Next up is Archimedes, who's holding action. Next up is Nubbins.
Okay. I'm gonna move over here, and I'm gonna bolt that overseer.
That'll hit. 2d6 damage.
Our damage rolls are terrible tonight.
They really are.
I'm gonna Benny that one.
Much
Better.
more respect.
That's better.
That'll shake him.
Nice.
All right, next up is Artemis, who is going to move up invisibly using the gang up bonus and try to stab this plantation owner or this plantation overseer in the neck. I will give him a +1 for the gang up bonus. Does not hit, so he's going to Benny it. That will hit. And he slits the guy's throat.
Nice.
Hey, Clara, there's one guy left. And you still have a loaded musket.
Shoot him.
Shoot him!
Bang bangs.
I think I hit him.
Indeed.
Yeah, give me a damage roll with the raise.
I didn't hit the raise.
Yeah, hit the raise because you definitely earned it. Yeah, he did.
Nice.
So you were able to pull the entire slave population of the plantation out through the gate and then make arrangements with your smuggling friends to pull them all out of Charleston.
Need to get them all out of here.
Yep. So they are transported to the north, where they are given their freedom, and Archimedes gratefully enlists in the Legion of Liberty with the rank of corporal.
Corporal.
Huzzah!
Hey, he's very useful. All right, so you will all be getting an advance next time, and
Nice.
you'll have. And Washington has a special mission for you behind enemy lines in New York City.
Oh, and luckily we can get there quickly.
You
Excellent.
can get there a lot faster now. Yes.
Gang up bonuses of New York. Interesting.
Very nice.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You can follow Happy Monster Press on Facebook as Happy Monster Press, at our website, happymonsterpress.com, Twitter as Happy Monster PRS, or follow the podcast on YouTube, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, iTunes, or Google Play Music. The Happy Monster Cast is part of the Savage Worlds Media Network. This game references the Savage Worlds game system available from Pinnacle Entertainment Group at www.peginc.com. It is unofficial media content permitted under the Media Network Content Agreement. This content is not managed, approved, or endorsed by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Certain portions of the materials used are the intellectual property of Pinnacle, and all rights are reserved. Savage Worlds, all related settings and unique characters, locations, and characters' logos and trademarks are copyrights of Pinnacle Entertainment Group. All other content is the intellectual property of Happy Monster Press. Background music is Ice Cold by Jason Shaw.
Oh, for sure.